I'm Laura Bunting, your new wine club coordinator here at Deloach Vineyards, and I'm taking over for Madeline, who has moved into the tasting room as our assistant tasting room manager, and she looks forward to meeting you all when you come to visit. Today we're tasting through the wines for your February club shipment for your Pinot Society Wine Club with our winemaker Brian Maloney today, and our first wine we're tasting is the 2009 Masut Vineyard Pinot Noir. What about this one, Brian?
Thanks, Laura. Well, the Masut Vineyard's up in the northern reaches of Mendocino County. It's organically farmed by Jake and Ben Fetzer. I've got to know Jake pretty well over the last few years, and so the 09's a fun wine for me especially because we got to explore a few more of the blocks on his ranch. Typically in past vintages, we've worked just with the clone 115. This vintage is actually using not only that 115 clone, but also the 777 and the 113 off the ranch. So it gives us a little bit more diverse of a flavor profile than some of the previous vintages. But it still has that classic richness that the Masut Vineyard is really well known for. It's a warmer climate site, so you get a lot of, those really dark and rich berry flavor characteristics coming off of it. On the nose, just really classic Pinot fruit. I mean, you get that big fruit characteristic and then just that subtle hints of oak that come through. And then on the palate, yeah, I mean, it's definitely one of our riper Pinot Noirs, just rich and luscious and just spreads across your mouth. If you're looking for a Pinot on a cold winter day, this is the perfect one. So enjoy. Cheers.
Cheers. All right. The next wine in our club shipment is going to be the 2010 Thornton Vineyards Pinot Noir. How about this one?
Thanks, Laura. Well, the Thornton Vineyard is located on a ridgetop that overlooks all of the Sonoma Valley, all the way down to San Pablo Bay, Mount Diablo, San Francisco, just an incredible view. If you voted top views in vineyards, this would be one right there at the top that we work with. And, it's interesting. We talk about when we look at vineyards that, the view is very important because that tells us a lot about the solar penetration that comes into the vines. It tells us about the slope aspect, how things drain. And all that combination makes this really one of the best sites we work with throughout all of Sonoma County. It's a very limited production wine. It's a special place. There's not a lot of grapes coming off of it. We've been lucky to work with it since its inception back in 2006 on a very small level, and now it's grown a little bit for us, but still only about 150 cases of this, and I would suggest that everyone wants to get as much of this as possible. It's one of my favorite wines in the cellar, and I think it's become one of our club favorites as well. Aromatically, you have that small dark berry characteristic that comes out of this vineyard. They're really, really tiny fruit, and that really carries forward where you get those pomegranate characteristics, I think, really are strong on this wine. And then on the palate, you just have those dense tannins that you work with again. I mean, that's something we look for in Pinot Noir vineyards. So you've got a sandstone-based site, you got a cool location, and you're going to have that tannin feel, that just silky, velvety, just, caresses everything and doesn't leave any substance behind. So definitely one that not only is a sipper, but, the bottle ends up empty pretty quick. So cheers.
Cheers. All right, and the next wine in your club shipment is going to be the fabulous 2010 Kamp Vineyards Pinot Noir. What can you tell us about this one?
Well, Kamp Vineyard is one of those touchstone sites in Sonoma County. It's one of the oldest plantings of Pinot Noir still in existence in the county. First planted back in the early 1960s to Pinot Noir. We still work with some of those old vines today, as well as some newer plantings that Ulysses has put in over the last couple decades. It is one of the most meticulously farmed sites. It's located right about 1,200-foot elevation. The vineyard itself has a huge diversity in soils, and so each individual block we really pay attention to fermenting separately and let it show its full stuff, so to speak. As far as this wine, it is one of those enigmatic Pinot Noirs that often belies description. It can start off with very interesting fruit characteristics, but then these savory elements come out, the pine duff and characteristics that aren't so common in Pinot Noir. I could go on and talk about this wine. Obviously, it's one that's really close to my heart and one of my favorites, but I have to say that really you have to get in the glass and taste it yourself if you really want to appreciate the complexity, the depth, and the interest that is Kamp. So enjoy. Cheers.
Enjoy.